Welcome back to the Pet Zone podcast with Victoria, Christine, Kim, and Laura. Fueled by clippers, caffeine, and the kind of humor HR would not approve of. Now let's jump back into the conversation.
I tend to work alone. I have one of my apprentices working with me twice a week. My scheduling manager, she works remotely. We just hired another scheduling manager, but he's managing the phones overseas and after hours. So he's in a different time zone, so he's able to kind of deal with the phone when we'd otherwise be closed. I will wrap up what I was talking about and then hand over the mic to her because I'm super happy that she's here. But so when it comes to so I tend to spend a lot of time, get a lot of alone time on the van, but a lot of people, they like to think mobile is less strain on the body because we are because we're not doing as many dogs. I have measurable proof that this job is 10 times harder on our bodies than it ever is in a shop because we're not buzzing around like our friends in the shop are. Mm-hmm. So when you're sitting, your blood pools. When you stand, your blood pools. That's why you'll notice it doesn't matter if you're a skinny girl or a big girl, your ankles stop being ankly and start being the same size as your calf. So all this stuff is the movement. If you saw a stop, schedule 10 minutes in your stop. Schedule those 10 minutes to just take a walk around the client's neighborhood. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, drop down and give yourself 10 push-ups, run in place. I have my little stair stepper thing. I do that shit to Jane Fonda. And you got to move your body. Movement is, you don't want to hit 60 and then be like, cool, I'm going to start caring about my health. When you start noticing the dog groomers in our industry that are in their 60s and those G's are still working every day and they're not complaining, it's because they're moving. It's because they're exercising. And a lot of you see a lot of stylists, again, sedentary lifestyles, not their fault. It's just what we've been trained to do. So I'm finding a lot of our younger brothers and sisters in our industry, they're having more health issues, hand problems, back problems, knee problems, joint problems of like an 80-year-old geriatric man, for a 19 and 25-year-old. And it's the movement. So the last mobile class that I taught in Texas, I taught a yoga class, I did a class called Ow My Back. And it was literally to talk about like, hey, there's no way we're retiring from this anytime soon. They're not making new dog groomers quick enough. So you need to turn yourself into the everlasting gobstopper bunny so you can continue moving. And if you're just doing this all day, you're going to start declining real fast.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, I hand the microphone to our friend. Look at these two. Just want to look at down there. I don't know if you guys have it in the same order. I have Christine and Sandra are right below me, so I'm like, hello.
That is my order too.
Do you guys remember that? I'm trying to remember what the new kids. There was this series. It was like from the 90s, and the guy would go, "I crush your head, crush your head." I forget the name of it. New kids.
Well, and then you have that one guy, what cartoon where he'd be like, "I'd kill you." No, that was the comedian. Was he the comedian? No, shoot, I can't remember.
And the world of Google, I should be able to look this up.
I never think to always Google. I just like to stress my brain out trying to find it, figure it out. Then I realize, never mind, I can't. Jeez.
It's called Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall.
Remember that?
I crush your head. Now, I like that golden buck you have behind you, Kim.
So
I am.
Let's see.
I'm obviously a hunter, so I don't know if it's real or if it's dipped in bronze, but it's
brass. Let's see.
Yeah, owly.
It's a rabbit, a fox, and a little mouse, and then I have up here. Whoops, which way is it going?
I can see. I'm from the throat up. Yeah.
There we go. I'm underneath it right now, and then
no, it's beautiful.
There's a bear.
In your grown-up house, you got bar stools, you got a little chill spot. I like it.
Oh yeah, this is my lounge. Let's see if I can get behind it. There's the bear.
And that's rad.
I loved her because she looks like Elton John in the 70s.
She does look like Elton John in the 70s.
So then here are the other ones. So they actually are these brass sculptures. Oh, you know what? I can stand up here. That are off of a folk tale from this lady. There's Frankie.
That's cool.
And then at Christmas time, I hang ornaments from him. And New Year's, he gets disco balls. But so it's this lady who wrote these little folktale books for kids. She's out of Canada, and then at some point decided to have these brass heads made that are the characters.
Oh wow!
And when I came across them, I was like, I have to have them. And I actually have a pheasant in the other room. It's just not hung in here.
Yeah.
And there's a couple more characters that I don't have. Like there's a doe, there is a duck, and they all have names too. And then there's a moose head, and the moose head is Eugene, and he's $1,500. And I would love to have him, but he's gigantic, and I have nowhere to put him. I'm like, I walk around my house all the time. Where could I put Eugene? My husband's like, nowhere.
All right, Killer, come here.
I'm surprised at how good my dogs have been. I mean, I am upstairs or downstairs. My Chihuahuas typically they're relentless.
Okay, hold on.
It's all resolved now.
Okay. I got to get my tree stand. I had 2 bucks hanging out by my trail cam that I need to go out and get. I need to go out and get dinner. Yeah, it's been a good season so far. We got 2 does so far. Between the 2 of us, we have 8 tags. So filling up the freezer because the price is always right in Nature's Kitchen.
That's right.
Yep, I have a couple of my clients. They are they deal in beef. One of them is he is in the breeding program, and the other one actually raises cattle.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I will say it's one of the best things about moving to Idaho is the local produce as far as like beef and chicken, because there's a lot of it here.
Potatoes.
The what?
Potatoes.
Oh yes, there's a lot of potatoes here. But it's and everybody is so about natural, not a bunch of antibiotics and hormones or any, actually, to be honest with you. So that's
what I love about moving out to PA. PA, same thing. I'm eating the best I've ever etten in my entire life.
Yeah, and you'll get a lot of the local elk. They'll bring an elk in, bison, all of it. I'm not a fan of the deer. I've always found it to be kind of gamey for me, but I do like bison.
So I've heard a lot of people always say that. And once I started processing my own deer, I have never had a gamey deer. I think what has a tendency to happen is when people, they shot the deer and maybe they don't know how to process, and they might field dress the deer, throw the deer in the back of the truck, and then go bring the deer somewhere to be processed, where it might be flash frozen and then butchered later.
Yeah.
I know that if you hit them in the gut and the gut bleeds out and it sits for a little too long, it can be a little gross. But like in terms of all my deer since I've been hunting, we and in Pennsylvania we process our own deer, and I have eaten every single one and never had a deer in my life.
But I love an elk steak.
Yeah, they're good. And also when it comes to when you're getting the cooking and preparation is also important. Like the backstrap and the tenderloin, beautiful, cook it like a steak. When it comes to the shoulder, leg, hindquarters, you have to put that puppy in a pressure cooker, or you have to put it in a crock pot, and you have to cook slow and slow. If you don't cook it low and slow and you're trying to just high heat it in a pan, it's going to taste like a boot. It's just not going to be good. And it also does matter what those deer are eating.
Yeah.
I'm up in the mountains. We have autumn olives. We have the Japanese wine berries. We're surrounded by farms. So these deer are eating really, really, really good, fresh acorns. They're not really getting into the trash. Like when I was hunting in upstate New York, There's a lot of areas where there's no gun hunting, so it's just bow hunting, and so there isn't enough bow hunters that are dealing with that population. So they're getting into people's garbage. So when if you do end up getting a deer out in that specific area, they've been eating what I like to call the sad diet, the standard American diet.
That's true.
So they're eating bad, so they don't taste good. So I imagine, like, before I moved out to the country, if someone were to eat me, I'd probably taste like shit.
Yeah. I know most of the, like my client who is the rancher, him and his kids got tags and they were on their way to Wyoming for elk hunting about 3 weeks ago.
Ooh,
Yeah,
lucky,
he's
lucky,
like, we're going
lucky.
into bear country. And his wife all of a sudden was like, you didn't tell me that. Please bring my children home.
That the athleticism and the dedication of the hunters out west, you really work for your hunt because I mean, an elk could be you could have 300 pounds of meat, and you have to break it down, put it on your back, and hike it out of there. I hunt from a tree stand about a mile from my house, so like. It's you never want to skip leg day when you're a hunter because we still have to. They always run down, so we end up having to pull them back up.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work, but it's a different story when me having a 200 pound or 150 pound or 100 pound doe or buck to haul up a mountain versus somebody having to haul a 300-400 pound animal. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
You don't have a four-wheeler to put it on there and drive it down?
So we have a trail. So like we're on a mountain. So we have a trail that goes into our woods. We still have to get it to that ledge. So where our tree stands are right in the middle. So anytime somebody gets shot, their instinct is to run.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what they do, and they always tend to run down because it's easier depending on where they get shot. So we still have to with the type of ATV that we have, it's good for going up and down, not like turning at an angle where you have 90 degrees.
Yeah.
You just flip right over. And,
get a donkey.
I'm with Sandra. You need a mule.
I do need a mule.
He's a little guy for that. He don't kill it. Yeah, but he'd try.
Yeah, you're talking about a real physical, real life mule, correct? So I have heard such amazing. I hear that they are super protective of chicken. Because I have about 40 chickens. We ended up, the bears in our area. We're on a good understanding. Don't eat my chickens, and I won't shoot you. And like we have mutual understanding. It works. I do I make sure to throw out all the parts that we don't eat. We do our forest sacrifice. Here you go. Thank you, forest. Mm-hmm. What we take, we like to give back. So that respected cycle happens. So the bears do respect us. But from what I hear about donkeys is that they will fight to the death.
Yes.
To protect what they like. And they can be kind of selective about what they like.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's what they like. And a lot of donkeys, you put them out with your herd, and they'll befriend the males and females. But as soon as lambing season or calving season happens, and all these new little creatures are running around, the donkeys will start attacking those babies.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I've heard a lot. Honestly, I'm 5 foot nothing. I got a 28-inch inseam. Horseback riding was hard enough. When I looked at getting a donkey, I was like, it's an animal that's my size. I can ride it and feel like a grown up.
Donkeys are dicks.
My best guard animal has been my little miniature. We always know when someone comes home in the neighborhood. We always know when there's a coyote on the wall. We always know when the neighbor's cat is in our yard.
When I take my dogs to the bathroom.
Yes. We always know when she's out to feed. He has a different bray for food than he does to let us know danger, danger, versus, hey, guess who just came home and they didn't come to say hi. And he is a tiny guy.
Yeah, he's tiny.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about them. I've heard a lot of good things, a lot of bad things in terms of like flock protection. I've heard also alpaca are really good.
Not llama.
Llamas, yes. With our land being being mountainous, we did find one little stretch of land that we're able to build acreage out for, when we decide to get bigger livestock. So we had these giant 40-foot tall tulip trees that are just ginormous. So, you obviously, like, you would think that there's that it would be relatively easy to just cut down trees. There's a whole science to learning where to cut, how to lean, what apparatuses to have to prevent it from falling on you, your house, people you love. So, so literally, like, my husband spent all this time learning about all these different things, and that we were able to clear out about 3/4 of an acre. So we've been allowing the sunlight to be able to hit the forest ground for the first time, because it's just very, very thickly covered. So hopefully that the soil where we live, it's very fertile, it's very healthy, it's very clean. It's just the sunlight doesn't hit it. So now that it's been 2 seasons of the sunlight hitting the ground, we're actually getting some ground coverage. Next up, we'll be getting like a skid steer to kind of flatten out that area and plant things that critters like to eat. And I've gone back and forth about all the different types of animals, thinking that we'd want to keep. And I'm thinking sheep. I know it seems weird. I've just heard such great. I'm surrounded by really great sheep breeders, which is great. That raise them, that raise them for food. They use them for their wool, and it's just, again, in a doomsday situation. If the doom doesn't happen, is it convenient enough to have the animal? That's what I'm trying to weigh. Because if you go there like, hey, there's a doomsday situation, we want to be able to raise our pigs. Well, if you're not actually raising them for food and slaughtering them, they will eat you out of house and home. They cost about $5,000 a year to feed. And so I wanted to make sure that we set ourselves up in a situation where, like, hey, this is something that's useful, that's beneficial to our family, that'll be beneficial to our community, and can't get out of hand easily. And,
sheep. Actually, sheep are a lot easier to have than goats. And
I've heard nothing but bad things about goats.
I like hair sheep, not wool sheep. So I don't want to, clip hair all day long. I don't want to go home and clip more hair. So
that's another thing I was worried about. My standard poodle, the second I stopped competing, my standard poodle and my Bichon Frise, like, they're 10 7-strip combos. They enjoy the outdoors. I'm just like, cool, we're done. Time to have fun.
Get hair sheep instead. And if you want to, the breed I like is Dorper. So I've
heard a lot of good things. Those are the ones with the black face?
Yeah, they can have the black heads, or they'd be pure white. But out here in the desert, I like the black-headed ones. And I crossbred them with desert, what they call them, painted deserts. So they're half painted, half Dorper. And to me, it's a really good combination for the desert where I live. But you don't have to worry about the wool. It's like I said, I don't want to come home. And the meat on them is so much higher. The meat on the Dorper is so much higher than the actual purebred painted desert. My painted deserts were dressing out like at 30 pounds, and I was like, that's not enough. So the last Dorper I processed, he was 80, so double that.
And you can do creative grooming on them. If you're worried about messing up your poodle, just get yourself a sheep. I would honestly, I think that one of us needs to show up in creative with a sheep.
Yeah, but see, there's this new rule because of me. That's the only animal allowed on the stage is dogs.
Wait, did you bring another animal? What did you do?
He was a prop, my prop animal. So at the time, way back when, people were bringing all kinds of prop animals. Literally, there was
a miniature horse,
a goat. First time I brought an extra animal was a chicken, and she actually laid an egg on stage. It was hysterical.
That's amazing.
But the year I brought my snakes, and I brought 2 live. So I had a snake basket, and I had 2 live snakes and a fake snake. So, during my presentation or whatever, I kind of like pulled out one snake and then pulled out another snake, live snakes. And then the third snake, the fake snake, I pulled out of the basket and threw it at the judges. The scream from the audience was epic. But
I did.
But I guess Sally at the time was watching the presentation, and at that moment, she's like, no other animals allowed on stage but dogs. So that's Barkley, at least. So that was my fault. I take responsibility.
Troublemaker.
I was telling I went to your shop and I opened up the door and I saw the snake cages and went, nope.
Oh, Laura, show her your spiders.
She did.
Oh, no, I think when she first came in, I showed her my anxiety. This is, I mean, granted, he's this little speck in the corner. He just molted and he's kind of pissy, so he's just chilling in his thing. But yeah, this is Webster. I believe I showed you my anxiety, but Grant, she's hanging in here. She just ate a big old meal, so she's not really coming out. And actually, Spidey Gonzalez is out and he's eating.
Oh,
don't piss him off.
You don't really see him too much, but yeah.
He's at that speck in the top left corner. Yeah. He's got the worm.
Oh.
There he is.
Oh, cool.
Look at him go. He's eating. That's Spidey Gonzalez.
So cute.
What is he
I've got
eating?
2 traps.
He's eating a mealworm.
Oh, I missed it.
Big boy. Yeah, wait, you missed him?
I missed what he was eating. My son used to have a bearded dragon. And I was like, okay, most people are trying to kill cockroaches, and here I am ordering cockroaches.
Yes.
Or dubia roaches, ordering them up for him.
I used to have crippling arachnophobia, and I'm a reptile girl. I worked at Petco at the Petco in the reptile department as well as in the grooming salon. I was cool. I loved building husbandry. I was always into these things. I had so many different types of chameleons. But when it came to the spiders, I just had this unnatural, just overreaction with them being around. So I just wasn't a fan. And I don't know. I just saw a little jumping spider in my house, and I went to go kill him, and he's like, no. Put his little leg up. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, now I just hear this little tiny happy voice that they all sound like Mickey Mouse. So and then I went on TikTok and I saw all the videos that people post of their little tiny little twinkle eyes. I highly recommend just enter in jumping spider. They have been humanized and made cute. These little spoods, they're everything.
They have cute little faces.
I would have more. What's that?
I said they have cute little faces.
They do. That's so many little eyes. I got ones with blue fangs. He's like, hey.
I have them all in my garden around my flowers. I'm like, could you please eat the worms that are eating my plants, please?
And they will. They will. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't know. I think that I'd say this is really common with a lot of dog groomers. We like having things to take care of. We like understanding environmental needs, and that's what's cool with reptiles and exotics and critters and livestock, horses, even anything that's outside of the realm of dogs is like they're not in their natural environment. We need to create their natural environment, and we need to figure out everything that they need, what they need to eat, what they need to drink, how to prevent the need for the vet. And, you know, and then finding a vet that even deals with the weird kind of critter you have. And it's just super cool to me. I've always really had a overwhelming interest to take care of animals. Like, it was like, I don't know, out of all of you, like, when was like, I'm going to take care of animals? For me, it was like, right, like at 6, I was like, I'm going to be working with animals for the rest of my life.
First time I brought a litter of kittens home.
Yeah. First time you brought a what home?
A litter of kittens. Just walked in. Kittens. Look what I found in a bush.
No.
Yeah, I was milking goats at 6.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I never knew I would work with animals. For me, it was a later in life career thing after staying at home with my kids. But when I was younger, I used to, I loved helping my aunt who bred English bulldogs. Take them out to Dr. Butchko and have them do the C-sections. Yep. Oh, yeah. God, I can remember the times out there.
We remember.
And then just own animals at home too. I was always the animal caretaker, and my thing was always fish. Like I have large tanks, I had reef tanks, aggressive fish tanks.
My husband was big into saltwater fish until the great blackout happened in New York City, and it's like people without power for like
that's traumatizing.
2 or 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, totally true. And what's funny is up here in Idaho, koi fish ponds are popular, and you find them in a lot of places. Like when we were looking around trying to buy a house, a few houses they're like, they have koi in it. And I was like, I've done the fish thing, but I don't know about the koi pond. I was like, and my neighbor actually happens to have one. So then now when she goes out of town, I get to be the koi fish sitter because I don't mind putting my hand in the filter and cleaning it.
Giant puppies. They're like giant puppies.
Yeah.
Like it's you know what? I love the connection that most critters, whether they're approachable or not, the connection that they make is you're a human. You're a human with food.
Yeah.
I am going to respect you. Like it's again, I love it with dogs, I love it with cats, I love it with snakes, I love it with any kind of critter. It's like you have food. You are now God.
Yeah.
Like it's the one thing that's really cool about being at the top of the food chain is just like I have to figure out what you eat, and then you're my friend for life.
Yep.
Like,
in my shop, Fridays and Saturdays, a lot of my snakes start getting active. They start coming to the glass, and my clients are like, "What's going on? How come your snakes are all like this?" It's like, it's food day. So snakes can tell which day it's Saturday, and they're going to get fed. So,
that's awesome.
Usually all at the glass.
It's funny when I come over and they're active, I'm like, you haven't fed those? You knew I was coming. Feed them. Because I want them eating me.
Yeah. That's funny. No, listen, animal care is cool. Honestly, the other thing that we were talking about when we were talking about community, what's cool is every time I kind of get into like a realm of something like, whoa, there's this whole other community, this whole world online of just where all these misfits and weirdos, we all get to kind of connect. And, you know.
Isn't that what fairs are all about?
What's that?
Isn't that what Renaissance fairs are all about?
Oh my God. Put it this way. I just bought I'm probably going to butcher the word, mountain dulcimer.
A dulcimer.
It's the table guitar. I just posted a video of it. I learned how to play 500 miles on it. And I will repost it for later laughs. But it's again, there's a whole community that's dedicated. I got into playing the banjo. There's a whole community of people from all over it's not even just America at this point. Like I'm in Finland, I have a banjo. Like I went to Kentucky in 1976 and I learned about the banjo and I love it. Like, and you live in Finland and you love this instrument. It's kind of cool that America's getting a little older now that, you know, because if you really look at the grand scheme of things, if you measure a century by a person, America is like 2.5 people old. So like when you think of like what has happened in those centuries, like it's essentially just 2.5 people old. So when we get into all our communities and things and start interacting with people internationally, it's really cool the lens of how other people view us, whether it be in our craft or a hobby. I remember the first time I actually spoke on the phone with somebody that I follow in social media. We've been interacting for years. We've never spoken on the phone. We got to speak on the phone, and she's from New Zealand, and she had said, "Wow, you your voice, your accent. I like your accent." And I was like, "What does it sound like?" And I'm like, "You sound like the TV people." And I started laughing hysterically because my accent is a combination of everywhere I've lived. It's like it's Miami, it's Washington D.C., it's New York City, it's New Jersey, it's everything I've dragged myself through. And so it's really, really cool kind of connecting with all these different communities from all over the globe.
Yeah.
Off the rails, Laura Jane.
That has to be a neat thing, living between your home and then in the city, going back and forth, like two very different lifestyles.
Yeah, you know, I don't think I could ever really be in one place. When I was growing up, my parents, every time they didn't like a place or the job market wasn't good or the economy wasn't good or taxes went up, they moved. So I moved a lot as a kid. And so as an adult, did the same thing. I'm like, the economy sucks, time to move. Quality of living isn't good, time to move. I loved New York. And I loved being close proximity to upstate. I couldn't do what I wanted to do in New York because it was so full. And what I like about Pennsylvania is it's like the sixth borough of New York City, but where I live is so rural, but I'm close enough. So if I want to do fun things, I can. I can still hunt. I can grow food. I got farmers all over the area I live in. So every time I get a wild, crazy idea to do something and I fuck it up, like I get to go to an actual farmer and be like, "Oh, you didn't prune your blueberries. That's why they're not coming in." And I gave this an Irish accent because I have an Irish blueberry farmer, and it's gonna be like, "Oh no, you didn't. You got to pick up the flowers the first year, or it's just not gonna grow. You'll be better next year. Just remember, pick off the flowers right early in the season, and make sure you fertilize when the moon is at the third." Like this is how it goes. It's really, I love it because you get so many different people. At my church, they had an international potluck. This past Saturday. I guess like our feast day was for St. Luke. And so they had the kids put up the little pageant, and then they said, hey, we want everybody. We have such a diverse group of people in our church. We want everybody to bring a dish. We have people from Vietnam. They brought lychees, and then we had a lot of Polish people. So they brought all sorts of cakes, kielbasa, smoked sausage. The Italians, pasta fagioli, and the Irish, obviously shepherd's pie. We had Guinness cupcakes that had actually been made in Guinness. I didn't know you could cook. That was super good, but it was just this huge spread of food from all over the world, and it's just amazing at this tiny little mountain town that you have so much culture in one place. So like it's cool being able to go to the city and be hooked up to. Granted, it's a very international place, but it's very artsy fartsy and very impractical, and we're like surviving in this urban jungle, and then to come to this place where it's just like it's a completely different way of life, and people are trying to survive in extreme climates. People really want to be more self-sufficient, so you get this bridge of the old world and the new world, which is really cool. We have like a 1700s historical farm that is still run by the great granddaughter that had bought it from its original owners, and they still operate it as an age appropriate farm. And me and my husband volunteer there. That's why you see all these old folky time pictures of me, like we made apple butter, like the way they made it in the 18th century. So it's cool. So yeah, in a roundabout way, that's why I like being able to go to New York City, take care of city clients, and then go back to the Poconos, and I have clients out here too, which is cool. And being able to kind of go between two worlds. It's kind of like, you guys out in California, it's you get that world in California, man. You could be literally up in the freaking hills where all the mansions are. You could be in the desert. You could be in the mountains. You could be like downtown. Like you get all sorts of environments in there.
You can be in our town surrounded by horses and every other livestock imaginable in 45 minutes in LA.
Yeah, everybody in Northern California is either a pot farmer or a horse breeder.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I like about living here. I still get to drive around and see. I go back through certain areas, and they still are very kind of a little bit of rural mixed in with what's really grown here. Because I live in Meridian, but it's Boise, and so it's huge. But you still get
Boise, Idaho. Yeah, that is like the headquarters of every credit card company. Every creditor I have is like Boise, Idaho.
You're going to love this. So last year, my husband and I took Sandra with us to Maine. And both my husband and Sandra had never been to Maine. But me growing up back east, I spent a lot of summers in Maine. I tried to tell him that's one of the reasons why I won't eat lobster here in California.
Yeah.
I said, you have to go have lobster in Maine. And also, what was it? Clam chowder. Yes. And Sandra's like, no, clam chowder smells and tastes like low chowder.
It's chowder.
We take her there, and Sandra,
what?
the clam chowder.
Yeah, growing up, my mom ate clam chowder once in a while, and it just, like she said, it tastes and smells like low tide. It's disgusting. Oh my God. So we get there in Maine, and we sit down and order. It's like, all right, I'm going to try, because, anytime I travel, I got to try their food. So I'll try just a little tiny cup of the clam chowder here. And it was like one of the best things I've ever had. It was so good.
Oh, that makes me happy.
She put the spoonful, she had her face already puckered up, like it's going to be nasty. She sticks it in her mouth. Literally, it's like this. I use this pen. She sticks it in her mouth. She goes, like it.
That's going to be a great clip.
No. That is going to be a great clip. Oh my God. So I am going to have to go get myself my freaking overalls, get my tree stand, and get dinner. But I have to say that I really enjoyed this so much. And I know that, like, it's a privilege to be a part of this awesome thing that is well overdue. I'm so glad that you're doing this. We talked about so many incredible things that, that it was nice to just be able to kind of sit in a room, even though it's my room, and be able to talk with people I've been interacting with on social media and in the show circuit for the past 10, 12 years. Let's do this again, even if there's no recording. This is just such any time you guys want to do this, I am so down to do this. I just didn't hunt this morning, so I'm doing the evening hunt. There are 2 giant bucks that are hanging out, and hey, I might just send them your way, Kim, to get dipped in bronze. That's just rad. Let's definitely do this again. I'm always happy to make myself available. This is really cool. It was amazing conversations, and we all went through the most traumatic, 6 years of just our lives, just going through this crazy stuff with pandemic and just the political climate and freaking the stress of opening and running a business. And, sometimes I feel like we don't really get a healthy environment to be able to have these types of discussions, because again, it's hard to have these discussions when you're typing on a computer because there's no context, and then everybody's leeching for the original author to take them out before like a discussion happens.
Yeah.
And you can't type out inflection of voice either. So that's
no. Well, and then as we go, like I know Vicki and I have talked about this for a while, like just really honing in on some topics too, and just everybody like you guys who have the experience and the knowledge, and some people. Am I what?
I think we are the old ones here.
Because for me, who I actually, my business just on Monday, it was 17 years that I've been at this, and you've seen the changes and everything. But it's funny because like a lot of your faces that I remember. I mean, back to when Ellen started the group.
Oh,
so
Ellen.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of changes since Go Mobile in 68 or something like that.
And then Go Mobile and group, and then she shut. MGZ was born.
Yeah. So it's just like I'm at the point where I feel like some of the younger generations, like, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business, but take some value from those of us, particularly, Sandra, even you, Laura Jane, who's been you competed, Chris, and all that. It's like, take in what they're saying, because there's something to it. And if you don't want to take it all in, take something. Like
my daughter's fiance, Noah, his dog, he is a Belgian Malinois, so he's very cautious of that. She'll do that. She'll guzzle, guzzle, guzzle. And he's always afraid. He's like, I don't want her to get bloated. I'm like, no, you don't.
Or be careful with my poodles.
Yeah, I was telling him, I said, I'm surprised your vet didn't tell you when you spayed her you could have pinned her stomach. And he's like, never heard of it. I'm like, yeah.
My first stand-up poodle, she bloated on me. I had seen bloat before, but I had never seen it expand so quickly. With her, I didn't realize it could do it that quick. Yeah. It literally was on a rampant air pump into her stomach. It just went boom.
Wow.
And I was, then she was older. And we ended up having to say goodbye because she wouldn't have survived the surgery.
That's always been.
But she was 14.
Yeah. See, well, and then also dogs become a certain age where you're just like,
Well, she was having other issues. I mean,
yeah.
She was actually, I think, older. She was having other issues, and we were getting ready for that. But the surgeon was really nice. I looked at him and I said, if she was yours, what would you do? And he said, I don't think she's going to survive the surgery. He goes, I can charge you for the surgery and we can give it a go. He goes, she's got too much other things I think are going to be a factor, and I think she's going to leave you. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So we made that decision.
Yeah.
But so when I get my little female spayed this time, she's going to get that stomach attack. Yeah. But not all vets will do it.
Yeah.
It's not as common as it used to be about 10 years ago, where they would ask you if you wanted it. They don't ask anymore.
Huh. I don't. That surprises me. They're like, that's a lost revenue. I swear, it's just like the way cars and vans. It's like my van was in the shop last weekend, and I needed rear brakes. And since it was there, it was like, okay, just go ahead and change the oil on it, and then I won't have to bring it back in 2 months to have it done. And and with the dualies, it's very difficult to put air in the tires. And I'm like, put air in the tires, because with it as cold as it gets here, it'll deflate the tires too. And I had to get a new battery because the cold wore it out. And in these vans, Ford makes it where the battery is under the seat. But then the rear brakes too, because my husband, he's pretty mechanically inclined for a lot of things, and he'll change out our brake pads and stuff on cars and whatnot. But it's like now they're putting these sensors that are in them, which is great because it alerts your car. But at the same time, your car then has to be on these machines for the mechanics, because they have these computers to clear that out. And so something way it processes on these machines, like they literally put them on a machine. And it's just like, it reminds me of a story I read about John Deere, how they, with their tractors and whatnot, these computer systems where they were not selling the equipment for independent repair shops to be able to fix them, for it to read the computers. And they got sued, actually. And they lost. They had to start selling the equipment, because I'm like, they're making it to where they can only go to John Deere. John Deere can charge whatever they want. And these farmers were out without tractors for months on end because they were so backlogged. Pain in the butt. Anyhow.
Unfortunately, I think with all the technology that are in the cars, you're seeing more and more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. But that's going back to the whole vet thing. I just feel like sometimes some vets aren't doing certain things. I don't know. I don't know if it's like it forces people to bring their dogs in more frequently because not enough people are taking care of them in the ways that they should.
From what I'm witnessing when I go to keep up my credits and stuff, when I go to the things, the classes that they're teaching are way different than before. Before it was a little bit more knowledge mixed in with supporting the pharmaceutical companies that are paying for the classes. Now it seems like it's being run by them, and it's not so much about fixing problems as much as it is putting on the newest and latest medication. Not to say that there's not some new stuff out there that are making some progress.
Right.
But there's a lot of, and I'm seeing it here. Did you ever hang out in Yorba Linda at all?
No.
Okay. Well, the veterinarians around here, I've almost had my shop 30 years. I kind of grew up with them, and some of the older ones, they still practiced a little bit more. Let's fix things. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's try things with the limited, elimination method. And nowadays, anytime you walk into it, the newer vets that have taken over, everything out of their mouth, even if you didn't go in there for that, is your dog has allergies, we need to put them on Apoquel. Your dog has allergies, we need to do this. And it's like, I went in there, my dog had a stain on her coat. It was from something else, but immediately they went in there and said, it's allergies. And I said, no, it's not. She got hurt. She licked in there. That's what the stain is from. It's all grown out. She has, check her skin. Her ears were clear. Everything was clear. She has no allergy. No, yes, she has allergies. She absolutely has allergies. And then I looked at him and I said, I'm like, yeah, exactly. I said, don't we need to do a test for that? And he went, well, your dog needs to be an Apoquel. And then came out the guilt. If you're a good dog owner, you wouldn't argue with me because I am the professional. And then you're just a dog groomer.
Yeah.
And I went, I've been doing this and I've worked with vets and I've been a vet tech on and off in my career to tell you that she doesn't. But if you want to do a test and when it comes out that she doesn't have them, you get to pay for it. They dropped it.
Yeah.
But it's
yep.
It's a lot of that. And I'm not saying that the majority of these dogs that we're seeing, they do have allergies. I mean,
but to what? Because you can't fix an allergy from the out. You know, it's a whole.
From what I am seeing, a lot of times it's seasonal. It has to do when our allergies kick in. Yeah. Our dogs' allergies are when Santa Ana winds are coming.
It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing, and but there's things you can do. But
unlike us, we bathe hopefully daily. Dogs don't.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was telling one of my customers who was talking about her dog's itchy skin. I said, when you get out of the shower, what is the first thing you do to grab? Think about it. Think about your care. And she goes, I grab the body lotion. And I said, exactly. I said, we don't think about our dogs. And I said, that's where leave-in conditioners and hydration sprays become important. Just as it's important to us, we need to keep their skin hydrated. A lot of, and this is something I learned, the number one thing that is misdiagnosed is dry skin is diagnosed as allergies because they have the exact same symptoms. So a lot of times it's just dry skin. Not to say that there's not a good portion that does have allergies, but a good portion is dry skin. If we start putting them on a good cosmetic regimen, just like us,
routine like we do,
skincare routine, just like, and we've seen it, especially here at the shop. Way back when I was doing things different, we had yeasty dogs. A lot of them. We had yeasty dogs. We had dogs with the bumps. We had, since we changed things in the way we do them and different techniques, we don't get them. Here's the other thing. I also don't get bather hands anymore.
Same. I don't get them in my weekly dogs and my every 2 week. The ones that are groomed frequently, there's only one has a reoccurring skin problem. It's when the seasons change, the wind comes, it's environmental.
We don't have yeasty dogs.
Any.
Like, I don't even see them anymore. Like, not even on new customers. So things have changed.
Yeah, the last one I had actually just had passed away, and they've spent incredible amounts of money on this dog. And the one thing I finally got them to do before earlier in the year was I said, they keep giving you all of these antibiotics or a steroid or Apoquel, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, has anybody? Well, first off, have you even allergy tested this dog?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people will complain about the cost, but I'm like, how much money have you put into him and you have not allergy tested?
And then you feed him the thing he's allergic to.
And here's the downside to allergy.
And then skin scrapings. You got to skin scrape.
It's also, the allergy testing is limited. If they don't have on their testing thing the allergen that is affecting that dog, it's not going to get picked up. So it's not 100%. It's going to do the base of what the common allergies are. So that's what it was explained to me. That's why a lot of vets didn't want to do testing, because people would get mad at them because it was still allergies. They just couldn't find that allergen that it's allergic to.
But at least then you'd rule out what it isn't allergic to.
Well, look I did allergy testing on my donkey.
This dog.
Oh, now they're happy.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I did allergy testing on my donkey. He's allergic to carrots, alfalfa, orchard. He can only have Bermuda, and but the carrots, it was very fine. They said that if I give him a little bit every once in a while, it would be fine. But he was also allergic to, on the low end, apples. That's a donkey. That's like the saddest thing ever to me.
You're like, those are staples.
What can I feed him? Does he just get water?
Watermelon.
Oh, he loves watermelon. Oh my God. He sees watermelon and his lips. He puckers his lips and before we even get to him.
Mist will start drooling.
Yes. But yeah, the allergy testing, it's just.
It makes you change. What has changed in. I mean, I think it has to come down to how their food is produced. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
absolutely.
Like how their food is produced, and then just it's like what in the genetic makeup has changed to have these animals, including a donkey, have so many allergies.
So
he's a mini donkey. I bet that's half of it.
He's special. He really is. He's such a little ass. No pun intended. He does have a lot of allergies, but here's something interesting. Quite a few years ago, my husband and I had an opportunity to. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh. We had an opportunity to go to Italy for 5 weeks, and we jumped on it. And so we went to Italy, and we were there 5 weeks, and we ate so much. Like, I don't eat that much. You can ask Victoria. I know I look like I do, but I don't. When we were there, I was eating pastries. I was having gelato for breakfast, lunch, and then dinner. And I'm not making that up. Like, the gelato there is so amazing. So we were having gelato. I was eating all the time. We were walking everywhere. We were doing things, but I was eating. But the way the food is made there, I lost 19 pounds and he lost 32 pounds.
Wow.
And we never felt great. Like, I was also, like, my Apple Watch at the time was like, oh my God, you've hit your new goal.
Keep going.
I had so much energy and I couldn't stop. Like, I was so excited. Like, something that, like, we'd walk a block here and we'd be exhausted and be, okay, we're done for the day. There, I want to go, let's go do this. And I was going, and if you've ever been to Italy, it's up hills, down hills, up hills, down hills. And I was like, I'm a mountain goat. And then we came back here and both of us started feeling sluggish. And we just realized the food's not processed there at all.
Yeah.
And even at the restaurants, a lot of the restaurants in certain areas, they have a garden in the restaurant or around it that they pick from for their produce. I thought that was mind-boggling to me. Yeah. But it has a lot to do with it. And I think it also affects our dogs. I think their food is over-processed too. Especially if you're dealing with horse hay. I don't think...
Horses and their diets. I could go on and on and on.
Right.
Mist has a very special diet because she's metabolic. Well, borderline. So she can't have starchy foods, which the cheapest hay to get is full of starch and carbs. Also really good protein. Mist can't have it. So she has to eat more hay that has less carbs in it. But then to balance that out, she also gets soaked shredded beet pulp, soaked alfalfa pellets, and a little topper of flavor, and then her supplements to help with the metabolic thing, and her thyroid medicine.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I have just one now. Because you have two, and one lives a shitty life, or you have one and just give her the best.
Yeah.
I have two, but my other horse, she's been with me since she was like 2 or 3, and she's now almost 26 or 27. She's not going nowhere. She could be the pasture pony. I don't care. She's my big dog. I don't care. She's and you know, I also, she gets special shoes and
you have to.
Yeah,
because it's harder to maintain them than it is a dog. A dog we can pick up. If a horse lays down,
yeah,
A friend of mine, horses. One of her horses, she came out one morning, horse was laying down, wouldn't get up. We tried all the things. We tried helping the horse up. Then we thought, because, horses aren't bright, so they will sleep right up against the rail and get their legs stuck in it. And then you have to help get them out. So we just thought, maybe she got cast in the middle of the night. It was colder, laying on the cold ground. Maybe she's just, tired. Thankfully, we live in the town we do because the large animal rescue people in the fire department came out and they had this huge crane to get this horse up.
Yep.
God, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have some in
But there were
too. Like the people who come out for that. But then like you go to the kind of, I don't even want to say rural, because literally like down the street from my house, you'll find the freeway, which you can hear from my house, all along it is property. And actually there's a groomer who lives there. And I see, anytime I drive by, I can see her 2 horses out there. And one time I called her, I was like, Dana, Rafe has taken off that blanket you've been fighting with him to leave on because he was getting eaten by or flies. She's like, God damn that little...
The flies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Where in Idaho are you?
How far from Coeur d'Alene are you?
7 hours. Coeur d'Alene is 7 hours north of me.
So how are you closer to Boise?
Yeah. Boise is like how connected, like Corona and Elsinore are connected. Like they're neighboring, super close. I mean, just a few miles down the street is technically Boise. Just depends on the area of Boise.
I had 2 groomers almost 7-8 years ago moved up there to Boise.
I think a bunch of Californians are fleeing up there.
Yeah, well, the last time I went, and I just went to drive through, Californians, we had California plates, and we had water bottles thrown at us on the freeway. In fact, the highway patrol pulled and he flagged us down too, so we pulled over, and he apologized to us and told us we can go on. But I was just like, they weren't joking when they said they hate Californians.
Oh yeah, they blame us for, say it's our fault that the houses cost as much as they do, the growth, and even though the growth has been going on here for probably 15 years now, and yeah, the housing market, but it's like they literally were in a bubble. Because like we've explained to people, we're like, you guys just don't get it. Like the housing market went nuts everywhere. Like everywhere. And we tell them like where we came from and what the housing market was. But they're like, you Californians come here with your money. And it's like, not all of us did. Because like we were renting a house down there. So I'm like, not all of us came like that. But yeah, that's the joke is get rid of your California plates quick.
That's when she left California and she was moving to North Alabama. She obviously couldn't get her plates, but she got her Ole Miss bumper stickers and did up her car. She's like, I'm not driving through Texas with California plates. I'm not coming into Alabama. And like, hey guys, I'm here to move in.
It was funny because years ago we bought land to retire to in Tennessee, and the neighbors all came to see these people that when we went to go visit our land to say hi to it, they all went to go see the new owners, and they pulled up, and this is in Tennessee, and this is rural Tennessee. They pulled up in their pickup trucks, and they're like, where are you from? And instantly I go, I'm from California, and I won't bring the politics.
Yeah.
Okay. They go, that's fine. And then they go, are you a refugee? I was just like,
yes, from California.
I get, yeah. And they're like, if you're a refugee, we'll take you. No. And then they just walk you in. The first thing is funny is they're like, are you from California? And that instinct is because they don't like Californians. It's like, yeah. I know not to bring the politics.
I think they don't realize also California is not LA.
Yeah.
Or
not all of it is.
It's like,
yeah.
It's a very...
Oh, we had the conversation because evidently there was another Californian family there that we have in the community that we're in. It's rural. It's horse property and stuff, but we have a general store that's part of our community. And we went to the general store, which is also a restaurant. It's really interesting. Cute place. Sitting down there, and the other Californians, and they said, this is the new Californians. And they instantly walked up and they said, everybody will welcome you, just don't bring the politics. I'm like, that's what I started. Yeah, but they also don't understand that when they're thinking politics, that it doesn't mean that everyone's wanting to change the laws. I mean, we're leaving for a reason.
Yeah.
So, and it just got too expensive to live. Tennessee, since we've had our land, has gotten super expensive. My land has tripled, almost quadrupled.
Wow.
And like I could sell it right now and go to Kentucky and get a bigger piece of property and a house. But I really like where we are at.
Where in Tennessee is it?
We got it. It is in, it's 40 minutes above Chattanooga. It is in central Tennessee. It is called Spencer. We're on the borderline of Spencer and Pikeville.
Okay.
And, but it's rural, it's beautiful, and I can bring my horses there, and we have a beautiful lake right smack in front of my property. Like, so I have a lake view, and well, hopefully one day I can build a cabin and retire there. That's the plan.
That's the goal.
Yeah, right. There you go. When we actually, a long time ago, started looking at Idaho, we looked into like the Coeur d'Alene Post Falls area because it's beautiful up there. Totally love it. That lake is gorgeous, but then it's just too winter. I'm like, a little too winter. And then, and then my family who's like in Lewiston, I'm like, it's just not big enough here to support my business. So I wouldn't make money. So,
well,
come down here.
I think I'm almost in actual grooming. I can't groom anymore because I hurt myself and I can't trust my hands. I broke my back a year and a half ago, so my hands shake. They've always had a little bit of a shake, but they got a lot worse, and I will lose feeling in them. So I haven't. Hopefully it will come back and I will be able to groom, but just in case, I've been looking for something else to do because I'm not the retired. I say retired, but inside me, I'm dying inside when I say that.
You say that with a Southern accent. Did you know that?
Well, that's John's mom. I do actually have a little bit. I grew up with John's mom, who was from North Carolina, and sometimes I say things like her. I have phrases from her, too, like I say youngin'. And that. But when I say retired, I will always have some kind of work. So I own the salon. I'm doing the salon part, but I'm also doing some other things, trying to figure out what I can branch off into. Like a lot of groomers that are getting, we have to, because we are workaholics by nature. Yeah. I mean, this is
for me.
This is good for
yourself.
Good for well.
I moved here.
I'm a workaholic.
I moved here, and I was like, okay, I don't have to now. And so that's what's funny when Laura was like, oh, 4 days a week, and I'm like, no, I actually don't mind working 5 days a week. But I also only groom 4, maybe 5 dogs a day. I
like
put
my 4-day week.
5,000 miles on my van a year. So
sounds beautiful, actually.
Yeah, nice.
I worked 3 jobs at once, and I didn't have a day off. I've done that before. I don't recommend that. Even at home, I'm working. Victoria will tell you I'm working. I'm doing something. But I'm hoping that happens to me. I'm hoping that when we get the cabin down with the porch and it's overlooking the lake, I sit in there and I find my comfy blue, I have this picture, comfy blue chair on my porch, and I just sit in there and I look out, and that's it. That's my spot. I'm retired.
Yeah.
But I
say I don't work hard as I spend my times not working, taking care of a 1,000-pound animal.
Well, I'm going to have that work. I just want to, I just, literally, we got the property so I could play with horses all day.
Well, maybe that's what you find your job, something to do with that.
Yeah.
If you have the room for it, you have people's retirement horses there in pasture, and they pay you to take care of them and get them meds.
We have so much of that here. Like, we have several areas where people go and they train, or boarding. It's a big thing. Like, horses are all over up here.
I don't mind being responsible, but being responsible for someone else's would actually, I think, eat me up worse when they get sick or something.
So you're not going to pet sit for me?
Well, Mist is different.
She's a big dog as much as I complain about her.
You should see her with me. So she'll complain about her, and she does have a right to complain about her.
She's quirky.
She's quirky. But like when she was at our house and stuff, Victoria would have her back to her and be walking at me, and the horse literally would be behind her making faces at her. And then Miss is such an angel. Miss would look at me, bat her eyes. It's like she totally was human. As soon as Victoria turned around, she'd be, me doing something? No, nothing.
She'll follow me around at the barn she's at now. I do because there's other people there, but I can just throw her lead rope over her neck and she'll just follow me around like a dog. She just wants to be around people. Her favorite thing in our backyard was to look over the fence and greet the neighbors or anybody walking by. Like, hey guys, I'm here.
But like, I have a lot of respect for Mist, and it's because of the situation with the wind. So you had Hero. I actually had respect for Hero, even though he was
great on the ground. It's not under saddle. He was fun.
So we had Santa Ana winds. And you're from California. You know how bad they could be.
Yep.
And had them in a pipe corral, and her cover got ripped off, but didn't take off. It was still hanging. So the metal cover was flapping in the wind back and forth. And these two horses were pinned up against the corral. Oh. And my husband, who's not a horse person, I said, I need you to stay really calm, follow my lead, listen to what I say. We need to go and get these horses out of there now. And he just comes. As soon as he sees that thing flipping, he goes, we're not going in there. We're going to die. And I said, those horses aren't going to die. He didn't say anything. He just followed my lead. I put the halters on the horses, and this thing is coming right close to us. You could hear it go, like right in front of us, and those horses stayed perfectly still. And I waited for it to go the other direction, and I said, John, go. And he took and went, and the horses just listened and was quiet. And then I took the other one and quiet. We got to the other side, and we get to our stall. Then they started freaking out.
Yeah, they knew they were safe.
As soon as they were safe, they were like, woo! And my husband's like, what do I do? I go, you just stand there and just let them get it out. But yeah, but Mist is like, since I handed him the lead rope and she looked at him, she knows how he is. I can't be a jerk with him. Like literally, I can't be a jerk with him. I'll be a good girl. So I have a lot of respect for her.
She's a good horse when she wants to be.
When she wants to be. I've seen her be bad, though.
I've spoiled her. Okay, the fault is mine. I 100% spoiled her and taught her bad habits.
She can use her lips to open up containers.
And stall doors and free people and horses and...
Oh, my God.
Dogs.
But I can also put her in her stall, leave the gate open, and she won't come out. Like, I think she does it for entertainment purposes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My entertainment.
They know how to get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria turns her back and she's laughing at her, I swear. Because she always does that thing.
Her smile?
Yeah.
That was the biggest mistake to teach her. But I think half of even with my dogs, I think half the time they do the crap they do is because I'm laughing at them.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if they got... So, yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I say that to clients too. I'm always like, they're like, my dog's bad. I'm like, not really. I mean, I go, I don't know. I'm probably not the good person for that because I find bad dog behavior kind of funny. So if you're asking me to correct it, there's certain behaviors that I correct, like when they're just being straight, like asshole, because you're just like, listen, I need you to stay turned around, and they won't. But when they do something that's just kind of funny and naughty, and I don't know, I can't help but laugh. And that's my daughter's like button heads with Noah's dog, the Belgian. Her name is Kaya, lives here now. Like the other day, Kaya was like, she came to the bed and their bed's tall, and you saw like this much of her face. And she was just like, and the ears are up, and she wanted on the bed. And Bailey was just like ignoring her. And Kaya was just like, Bailey sent me like 3 pictures, and each time Kaya was in a different position. And then finally Kaya just went over to the laundry hamper and started taking clothes out of it.
That is about what.
And so Bailey was like, Noah, your dog wants on the bed. So he came and he picked her up and put her on the bed, and she sprawled out in his spot and was like, okay, good. That's all I wanted.
That's funny.
Yeah. But she does stuff like that.
We used to have neighbors that had mountains. And one of their dogs was like...
And puppies.
Yeah. And one of their dogs was just absolutely perfect Malinois. Like he would listen. He listened to the neighbors when he would try to go. I mean, you better not do that. Oh, yes, ma'am. And he would sit down and, hi, how are you? Then they had a crazy one. It's a female, crazy one. And I went over to the neighbors and I said, hey, you do know that this breed can climb walls, right? And the guy goes, I've heard stories, but no, we should be fine. I said, your dog's on the wall that connects to the freeway.
Remember when they had the covered kennel with
Yeah.
the tarp over it?
Yeah.
And you just look at it and you just see the Malinois hanging from the top of it. It didn't last long. Or the trampoline. That was my favorite.
Oh, that was the best.
They'd go out and they'd jump on the trampoline, but it ended up shredded.
Yeah. But
let's see. This is her the other day looking over the bed. Like, hey, let me up there. Yeah.
That's adorable.
And then
That'd be a great.
Yeah, this was the other one that Bailey kept sending me.
I can't see.
Lift it up a little bit.
Lift it.
Can you see it?
Oh my God. That's great.
Yeah.
I think we have the same cover too.
And then Noah had finally put her on the bed.
Aww. She's a pretty dog.
Yeah.
She is.
She's really pretty.
I love them, but I know that they're too smart for me.
They need a lot of work.
I need a dog that can't outthink me at a rapid pace.
Yeah. And Kaya, they're lucky in the sense that she doesn't know she can jump. She's 4 years old and so far does not jump fences, doesn't jump nothing. So, and Noah's like, I'm not teaching her that either. I don't want her to know she could do that. And I'm like, you're so lucky. You just have no idea how lucky you are. Yeah, but
I'm not taking.
She's ridiculously smart.
Taking responsibility for Kylo, and some of that I will have to agree with her.
He just came that way.
But you have to take at least 50% because you spoil him rotten. But then so do I.
But he came that way. How do you take a 1 pound, 12-week-old dog and
when
say,
did you meet Kylo? He was like, how many weeks?
Oh, it's a baby. He was like,
and I went with you.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, I'm going to them. 2 suckers.
No. Because the breeder, when he didn't want it, she told me, she goes, just so you know, his dad and, basically all these poodles, I spoon feed them. It's like, pardon me?
Yes.
And then where her shop was, she had that really good Mexican restaurant. And she goes, yeah, when they don't feel like eating their dog food, I just go over there and get them beef soup. And I was like, wait, what? So by the time he came home,
he is hard to get him to eat.
We finally got a system worked out, little jerk. But he's
trained Victoria.
He's trained everybody. Not
me too.
He just trained Sandra's poodle.
Right?
Real quick.
Yeah, Sandra has this big, gigantic standard poodle. I don't know if you've ever seen Xander, but huge. And this little tiny 3-pound.
Kyla just literally chased him out.
Yeah.
Like, and he won't come back in here.
And Xander's like, oh, I know this routine. I'm gone. So.
He's such a jerk. He's so cute, though. I think it's because I named him Kylo Ren. It's his name.
My pug did that for a while. Now she's fine with my good friend's English lab. So much so that we have a video. I'd have to find it. It's buried because it's years old now. But we have a video of my pug chasing this English lab around our backyard. And so my daughter, when she recorded afterwards, she put in the sound bit of "Don't run from the Lord." It's so funny, though, this little dog, and he's just running from her to get away.
You should see
what?
If her standard poodles are, if they're not running from Splat, they're running from Kylo. And Kylo, what is he? He'll be 4 or 5 this year. He just learned and he still has his man bits. He just realized Chris's dog's intact, like 2 months ago.
Wait,
yeah. He this whole time despised this other dog, and then all of a sudden he's like, wait, you smell like a girl. And now he follows her around trying to sniff her butt. She lays down. But he still doesn't know how to work anything.
She's getting fixed, but I had to wait, and then
Kylo doesn't know how to work anything.
But she needs to get fixed because she has some hormone issues.
We'd have really cute babies.
No.
She's like, no, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
They really wouldn't. It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. Someone would have an enlarged heart, and someone would have too small of a heart or something. But they'd have a big body, and yeah. No. Mm-mm. I'm gonna get a. But if we had a tiny little poodle,
hopefully next year,
that'd be different. But no, I'm not gonna do the size thing.
No, let's face it, he can't reach. He's too tiny.
Well, she was trying to accommodate him.
She's all rolling over.
Like, you little hussy, could you make it difficult?
She does. She lays over like, okay, smell me. And he's like, hey. And then he's like, I don't know what to do
But
now.
my big boy, and he's big, he sees Kylo and he's like, oh. And
then they see Splat and they definitely run.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And I'm like, and it's funny if any of the neighbors' dogs go off and stuff, he's like, woo, 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 woo. But Kylo comes out and he's like, oh, it's the little one.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Tiny but he's not dumb about it. He makes sure one of the humans is standing nearby. Like, wait, okay, Mom's here. It's safe for me to beat up the big guy. Well, Mom's not here. Hey, we're all friends.
A little mask.
The only one he is. He's terrified of the cat.
Your cat.
My cat.
Because it's not my cat.
Well, she is evil.
Yeah.
She's evil. She waits till he's drinking water and she pounces on him. It's kind of sad.
Oh, she keeps him
and
in line.
She's deaf.
Yeah, she
and then
overcompensates for that. She's like, so I'm going to beat him up, and then he'll just always do what I say.
But he turns the tables and waits till she's sleeping and attacks her. So, but she just lays there like, all right, dude. Like, she won't run until Splat comes.
Oh
and then she knows to move.
Your animals.
I love my dog.
Your animals are something else.
All right, we'll pause the conversation here. It'll continue next week. Please give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Pet Zone Podcast. Have a crazy customer story, confession, or just something else you'd like to share with the show? Please feel free to email us at info@petzonepodcast.com. Don't be shy. We can keep you anonymous if you like. Also, if you're a professional pet groomer, please feel free to check out the Facebook group, Mobile Groomer Zone. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show on any podcast platform you're listening on, and share it with a friend. Until next time.